G14 a cut back with a part 2 on Megan Thee Stallion, called Crawford, 1501 Entertainment, and or just 1501 Records, and just the whole ordeal with what's been taking place. It's a topic nobody can stop discussing, so here we are. We're back. Back with the follow-up about it.
Gotta get to the follow-up because it's not stopping.
It's not.
What's crazy is bringing up a lot of other subjects within that whole agreement dispute, which I think that is important to a lot of artists, a lot of managers, a lot of labels, a lot of production companies. It's kind of bringing up a lot of stuff that encompasses the game, encompasses the game from the beginning to from stardom to, fame to breakups. It's really very interesting, and people should be talking about it because you see it a lot in the urban world in music, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have different opinions on it, but I see the opinions going both ways, man. I see a lot of people, they're not feeling what she's doing, and I see a lot of people, on her side. Very interesting topic for sure. So a lot of nuances, so we should talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, and again, if you're on this video, then you probably have already clicked on a couple of different articles and have some interest into what the topic is itself. So let's just give a quick follow-up rundown, shall we? So we did the recording and talked about TMZ and how, Megan said, went to court, got the restraining order. She was able to release the music. Since then, she has released an EP. At first, it was going to be, I think they said it was going to be an album, but it's an EP entitled Sugar that dropped yesterday on Friday, March 6th. And so since then, the very next day, Carl Crawford, CEO of 1501, did a Billboard interview in which he came out and spoke his piece and denied the claims that Megan had discussed in her, Instagram Live and elsewhere. And, and that's very detailed, and you guys can go back and take a look at that. And I'm sure you already have. And then since then, Megan then came back and responded. And then Jay Prince has chimed in as well through Instagram posts, about what he believed to be right, wrong, and where he stood as far as the Megan situation. It is very interesting, at this point with the whole, I think for me, and I've already said this to you and spoke about it, like just off audio or off, just off the air. I always feel like it comes down to principle. Outside of business is business and contracts are contracts, you always have a room to go back and ask. Negotiations are typically done prior to things happening, but that doesn't mean that you can't go back and ask and have the conversations. I think for me, it's just, I hate the way that it played out and how it was done. I wish that, obviously not knowing Megan and being just a fan of Megan, I wish she would have had a little bit more guidance and somebody to say, hey, let's not do it this way. But at the same time, I feel like it was done because when you have that big of a following and you are on that platform and level of a Megan Thee Stallion, you want as much public support and fans to be involved and on your side as you can, to put that pressure wherever you want it to be. So I get why it was done. I don't think it was done in the best way and light if you're talking about what, if you just wanted to do a renegotiation. So therefore, when you go back and you look at what Carl Crawford said, you look at what Jay Prince said, and then you look at a couple of other parties involved have said, it starts to make you say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't, You just wanted the renegotiation, which is what we were led to believe initially. You just wanted to get that one album and then be done. If that's what you wanted, then that's you. You know, that's her choice. And then the whole thing about, you know, what age she was. A lot of people had a problem with her saying, you know, I was 20. I think I was about 20. And they're like, no, you were 23. You know, people went and dug up the receipts.
I mean, even if she was 20, I don't think that 3 years matters, you know.
Yeah,
I think the reason why they bring it up, though, is, and why she's saying it, is just because it's, you know, when you look at somebody that may have been taken advantage of, people will love to always put an age to it, right? So they'll say, that person was only this age at that time, you know, and I don't even think, you know, she brought that up, but I don't think that's neither here or there. I don't think she should have brought it. You could say, when I got started, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I got started in the industry, when I got started, that the 20-year-old, the 23-year-old, I believe that was put out there for sympathy for her.
It was. And it wasn't necessary, because what it made people do was then, like I said, it just made people go and dig further. And when they found out she was 23, that was like a discredit. You know what I mean? Like I literally see when I go, and I've been looking and looking at the comments and looking at different things, and that's what they're saying. They're like, you said you were 23. Like, they're holding her to that. You know, whatever she said, you said you only got this amount of money. And then when she spoke on Ebro, she was like, well, no, I was saying I only got this money at that time. So, like, they're really holding her to her words, you know, when she initially went and rallied that initial support. So I think, you know, at this point, it has gotten to such a mess that she'll be bought out of that contract, and then everybody can just move forward in their respective ways. And that's kind of like where I see it going. I don't think that they're going to want to remain, you know, even, I don't see them remaining in any type of agreement beyond, you know, once the court settles. That's just what I just don't see it.
I mean, it ain't repairable. It's not repairable. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be able to want people to work with people that know they don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You be in an agreement, but at the end of the day, I heard Carl Crawford say it's going to end badly for somebody. They hope it's not them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you know, my take on this stuff is getting a little jaded, right? Because I believe whatever side of the coin you fall on is the side of the coin you can champion. If you're an artist or a producer, you know, you may be seeing what Megan's saying first as valid. If you're a manager, if you're a label, if you're on the executive side of anything, you would see that 1501 and Jay Prince have a lot of validity to what they're saying, right? She said one thing that I was like, you know, and like I said, if you listen to the last episode we did on this, part 1, I was riding for her to get a renegotiation. I'm still riding for her to get a renegotiation if that's what she really wants. But she said something in the Breakfast Club interview about T. Ferris and how he was always there, and her mother took to T. Ferris, and her and her mother took to T. Ferris much more than they took to Carl. You know, kind of basically like that was the guy that we really took to. That was the guy that was on the road with us. That was the guy that was, you know, really riding with us, and we loved him. We still do, you know. And then I'm kind of listening to that, like, well, what was Carl Crawford supposed to do? If he's the money behind everything and the executive behind everything, he's supposed to hire somebody to be with you every step of the way. He doesn't have to be every step of the way. As a matter of fact, that's the role that he does not play in that situation. So when she was saying that, I was kind of confused, like, well, what did you expect him to do? Be there all the time? And then she kind of alluded to that she don't know what he did. Like, if he paid for what, she don't know. Show me what you did. That's valid. If you're saying, you know what, I want to see what you paid for. If you said you paid for so much, you know what I mean? Just show me, because I don't know. Well, Another way you could look at it is ask the guy that was next to you how much he was paying. If you're so close to the other guy, T. Ferris, ask him where's his receipts. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it kind of gets a little bit fishy to me, because if you want to see Carl's, because there's something there. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to say dislike, but there's something that they don't get along, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to ask him, hey, show me receipts on what you paid for since you said you're doing so much, that you did so much. All you really got to do is like, T. Ferris, the money that you were receiving to help my career, where was it coming from, right? Mm-hmm. If he was the one that was the middle in between the artist and the executive, I'm pretty sure that Carl had to shift some, finances his way in order to take care of the whole situation. Like he was taking care of, if he was the road manager, this or that. Who knows how it went down? But at the same time, you could easily find that stuff out. Who was doing what, and if somebody was just sitting back and not doing anything. For the record, I really don't believe that Carl was just sitting back not doing anything. I just believe he was the financier. You know what I mean? He was the one that was like, yo, we can get this girl hot. Let's try. And another thing in the interview that kind of took me back was just like, she kept saying, I just want to renegotiate, which if you look, this is the part one. That's why I was like, God, I don't know why they won't renegotiate with this girl. This is not typical. They should want to renegotiate with her. She is not 20-year-old Megan anymore. She is blown up. If she feels something isn't fair, why won't everybody just come to the table and talk about it, right? That's how you know it's something kind of more there, right? Because it's not that, all right, put it like this. If you're 20 years old and you really don't got shit going on, me recouping off what you're doing is damn near impossible, right? But if you turn 23, 24, 25, and now you a fucking superstar, even if I renegotiate for a lesser percentage and give you more, I'm still getting paid because now you are out of here. You know what I'm saying? If I get 40% of all you doing now, I'm super good, right? Mm-hmm. That's why the whole thing don't make sense to me, because if it would be in 1501's interest to let Megan keep going and popping. You feel what I'm saying? If they had a good relationship, which is why I don't think there's a good relationship. There's something there. I don't know what, because I'm not in that camp. When I saw Jay Prince write what he wrote on Instagram, I could relate to that 100%. Like, I read that thing and was like, yo, this is what people need to understand. Because there's always people that help somebody get there. And I hate when I see people shit on people when they get to a certain level, when you know that person is the reason you're at that level, or him or his team or whatever. And then big wigs come and just try to snatch them away. Like, oh, you need to be over here. You're missing out being with. That's why I love seeing TDE. That's why, Top Dog Entertainment with Kendrick and all the boys. That's why I love seeing, Dreamville, what J. Cole's building. That's why I love seeing, all these dudes that got teams that they've been riding with for the longest, and those are the people that end up winning. They win big in the game. And then you see all these other kids, they bounce around from here, there, you know what I'm saying? They're always with somebody else. It's all cool. But at the same time, at least a fractured relationship has to be fractured by something. Let somebody do something wrong to you, and then you let them know, hey, I wasn't happy how you moved this way. Then rub me the right way. So either we could talk about it, or I'm going to have to go my separate ways, because the shit you're doing, I don't like. Which is, I guess, what she's saying by bringing up stuff in court, different things of that nature. So that's why I said this is kind of a slippery slope, because you really don't know why she is disgruntled. So she said something to Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club real quick, because Charlamagne asked her a question. It was like, yo, there's people out there that say you just going Hollywood too fast. And I guess it was a blogger out there on Instagram who's popular that said it. And she was like, well, that man don't know me and I don't know him, so I don't know why he would say something like that, right? Well, that's what these topics are about, right? That's the people are starting to kind of draw that conclusion wrong or right. That's the type of conclusion that they're coming to, because it seems like, oh, now that you've got to this point in your career, you kind of trying to leave the people behind to help you get there. I've seen it tremendous amounts of time. That's why I know it's valid. It's a valid topic. There's a lot of nuances in that topic. But again, I've seen that shit happen. Even with people that aren't at Megan Thee Stallion's stature. Motherfuckers just start trying to shit on people just because they get to another level and just forget the people that was there on the grind, spending the time. So depending on what side of the coin you fall on, if you that person that don't believe in team, riding, integrity, something like that, you may not look at this as nothing. It may be like, bitch, go get your money wherever you want to go get it. I see a lot of people saying that, like, we with you, we riding with you. I agree, man. I want to see Megan win. I really like Megan Thee Stallion. But I would be a liar if I told you that if she's just leaving these guys behind or trying to leave these guys behind because she thinks she's at a certain level now and don't need them no more, I wouldn't agree with that. I'm not a cat that's down with that. Find out a way everybody can get paid and be happy, because they helped you get where you're at now. They may not be the engine that's really pushing now, because you can go get a lot of different things through Rock Nation. All hail Rock Nation. I love Rock Nation. I'm honest to tell you, Jay-Z is like one of my idols. I love the way Rock Nation moves. You know, Onyx knows, but Jay Prince is too. Love the way Jay Prince moves and how he do things. Brother don't play around. So when you see a dude a dude of integrity speak about somebody, you kind of gotta weigh that. You gotta kind of weigh like, this is an honorable dude. You know what I'm saying? He may have, you say what you want about him, but at the same time, his stature speaks for itself in the game. We haven't heard Hov say a word, so I'm even not gonna say Jay-Z's involved in this, because we haven't heard Hov say one word. This just seemed like Houston shit.
And just to kind of go back on and refer back to kind of your points with Breakfast Club, and the person that you're referring to, the blogger, is Isaac Hayes 3. We all know that, and that's who said what he said on Instagram. He's basically,
that's what it was. That's
right.
What it was.
He was saying, why should any artist? And the facts are yes. The facts are this. We can say she was 23 when she signed the contract. That's just the fact. She was 23, and as I guess she just turned 25. You just signed your contract 2 years ago. Fact. That's a fact. And a lot of the issue is there are so many inconsistencies with the press run itself, with the different interviews that she's had, with the going live, it just got to be very messy very quickly, and just what I would call a publicist nightmare, because there's so many people that are fact checking and going back and saying, wait, and like you said, I gotta hold some weight to this, because this person don't just come out and just say that they're not going to speak if there's no reason to speak. It just doesn't make sense, So there's a lot of that. And then one of the things, like you said, if you just want to renegotiate, okay, everybody can still win. There's no concern there. But the validity is that's not what happened. There was no type of negotiation. It was just like, yep, I signed my deal, and now I'm out. I want to be out, and this is what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. That is what Carl Crawford is saying happened. There was no let's renegotiate. And so that's where it went left. And, you see more of a divide. And I'm with you when you say, I'm playing the CEO role or whatever role I have. I put people in positions who I feel are best. That's what should happen. That's what a responsible CEO does. However, I should be also, as a CEO, educating myself more, and it's learning lessons. We all learn. We all, we're all in this together, learning and growing. We're doing what we have to do. But like you said, yeah, that was who should have been handling things with you. So that's not too far fetched to say. T. Ferris was the one with me. That's who should have been with you. But what I found interesting also with Charlamagne in the interview that he had with her was he said, okay, well, let's just take everybody out of the equation. What's fair to you? What do you feel is fair? What would you want out of a contract? And she couldn't answer the question. She was just like, I just want what's fair. So I don't feel like, and this is just me as a viewer, and then maybe even having a little bit of insight, I don't even know if Megan knows what Megan feels is the best deal or best, situation, because there's so many, it seems as though there's so many different people in her ear. She's rallied the support of fans. She's kind of riding with who rides with her. And it's kind of like, I don't know if she knows what's the best situation. I mean, you do know what's best for you, but at the same time, I just feel like, do you know what's best? Do you know what you really want? Or are you just kind of going off of, putting your hopes into hoping that this next person is really for you? You know what I mean? The next person, or Ferris, or whoever it may be that's in your corner, you're just hoping that they're not going to do me the way I feel like I've been done, So,
again, it's an artist thing. It's an artist thing. It's an artist thing. Because at the end of the day, somebody has to empower T. Ferris as well. Somebody has to. I mean, if you're telling me that man did all of that stuff for free, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't a part of a team. He literally just inserted himself and was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna take you here, take you there, take you there. Oh, I know you're a part of 1501, but they got nothing to do with me. I'm riding with you." And he's just a freelance player in the whole situation. Then that's a whole different conversation. If he was someone that they put in place,
and he was,
and he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it gets sticky, because that means that he went rogue, right?
That's right.
So now if him and Megan are saying the same thing, maybe there's something that we don't know about the reason why they're going rogue. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, he hasn't.
I have to. I'm only giving the benefit of the doubt, because now you got two people, right? That's just saying we need to get away from this situation. So let's say that that's valid. You still should be able to come to the table with Carl and whoever else is involved on his side and talk about that. To be so quick to want to jump and not do what you're obligated to do and this and that, that's when stuff gets ugly. All you gotta do is communicate. That's it.
It's a conversation, and that is what they said. Their team was like, we don't have a problem with having a conversation. This is what we're not going to do, though. You know what I mean? And then another thing, I just have to speak on this again. Having the inside knowledge of who was actually with Megan before she got her deal. She speaks about she was this before this, and I said this in the first broadcast we did. I was this before, and I did this before, and it was just me and my mom. Like, Megan, y'all had some help. Whether you knew that or not, you guys had some help. Your mom had some help, as she should. She was, very well known by people. And she was a rapper at that time, as many people know now. She spoke, and rest in peace to her mother. But she definitely had some help. And so in certain interviews, you can hear Meg say, and my manager at that time. She doesn't say at my mother at that time. In other places, she'll say my mother. And then some places, she'll say at my manager at that time. So she had different people assisting her at that time. So it's just like, and when as in me, the person that was assisting her at that time, this person was in my vehicle. So I knew that the contract signing dates were off just because of the fact of that. That already was a kind of weird to me. But I didn't, that's none of my business. It's her contract. That's their thing. So it's just, again, when you, and I've always said this, when you take things to, like you said, they wouldn't have the conversation, however you had to do, I guess, and how she feels, it was to a point where I had to do that. I feel like, for whatever reason, there are people pushing her in that lane to try to rally that public support, that public opinion. And now it's just turning into this, because that's how it always happens. It turns
she's
into...
going to make a big decision at the end of the day, which I think she's making now. She don't want nothing to do with him, right?
They don't want anything to do with her.
At this
and
point,
they don't want anything to do with her. Yeah.
They both got to split, right? They both got
to. Have to.
At the end of the day, this is why I tend to lean to the side of people that give people agreements and help them along the way. Is because I've been in that position before as well, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, these guys have to move on with their entertainment company, right? So if you know that they didn't do anything to you, slanderous, if intimidation didn't take place, if this is you just kind of like trying to pull a trump card just to get out of your situation with them, I would hope that she wouldn't be that type of person, because that hurts their brand as they try to move forward. There could have been some other young woman that's coming behind Megan, a young girl in the city of, state of Texas, city of Houston, wherever, that was looking at her rise and thinking, wow, 1501 really helped her get to where she is. Now look at her, man. This is great. Mom, we should reach out. Dad, we should reach out to them. And now, if it goes south, it's kind of like, oh, we ain't fucking with them. I literally had shit like that not only happen in front of my face when people were lying through when I say lying through their teeth, I mean, if they didn't meet the other party, they would have just took their word for it, and it would have been all she wrote. Somebody's mind warped, they think something of somebody, and that's it, right? Luckily, when this industry is small, so you meet people, and then you get other perspectives, and you get other sides, and that's not how I heard it, because people want to always look like, either play the victim, look like the victor, or look like they've been wrong or wrong somebody. Either way, for the sake of the artist, she's gonna go on and do her thing. We all gonna, listen to her music. We all gonna wish her well. She's a young female going to school. She I love the assistant living idea that she had, and actually have the students that went to school with her work for it. I think that's brilliant stuff, man. So kudos to her for all that. But you also got a guy on that side, Carl Crawford, star baseball player. Matter of fact, my partner J Mac, that's like his favorite ball player. He loves Carl Crawford. You know what I'm saying? When he found out Carl Crawford was in music, he was like, "That's the same Carl Crawford. I fucking love Carl Crawford." You know what I'm saying? So, I remember having a conversation with him. So you don't want people to, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of disparage them vaguely. Nobody's hearing anything of detail. Nobody. This man just literally looked like he suckered some young girl into an agreement when he really didn't. At least from what I'm hearing, it was, hey, here's the agreement. Check it out, read it, go get people to check it out for you. Come back, see if it's good for you, sign it, let me know. If not, that's cool. But it was a presentation. It wasn't a gun to your head, you better sign this shit or else. So I don't want him to end up looking like a villain, especially if there's some concrete information that he is a villain.
Yeah. And then what I don't like, and I said this the first time, I really am against the whole Black men are taking advantage of Black women narrative in this scenario. I'm not feeling that at all. So I'm not liking that. And then again, you know, she'll be able to get out of this situation, and then they'll be able to recoup, hopefully, you know, what they need to. Nonetheless, lessons are going to be learned, you know, on both ends. And hopefully the people that are watching and clicking on these videos and listening and viewing, artists, industry executives, insights, bloggers, everybody will be learning and lessons and PR, publicists, all of that, and learning and taking and just looking at, you know, maybe how to and what not to, or, you know, and all we can do is try to put our best foot forward and make the best decisions and choices. And like you said, I just, you know, I've seen it before, you know, and that's kind of like what everybody keeps saying. You kind of heard the Joe Budden podcast where he said the same thing. I've seen this before. It looks familiar, sounds familiar. So
let's see how it plays out. You know, let's see how it plays out. Again, we sit on part 1.
Shout we're going to be part 3, right? Part 3, part 4, whatever.
I mean, shout out to everybody involved, man. We want everybody to win in that situation, because I just don't. It's not fair when somebody loses credibility when they really didn't do anything to lose credibility for. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So again, not knowing the details, maybe all this stuff will come out in the court papers. We're hearing things like threats, and we're hearing things like, you know, trying to trash people and so over social media, intimidation. We're hearing all these words, but the receipts, as the young girls say, I don't see the receipts yet. You know, I don't know if they're not there or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where they are, but I don't see them as of yet. You know what I'm saying? So let's let it play out. But you know, it's one of those things where, again, I just don't want somebody looking crazy when they don't have to look crazy, because that in itself is crazy. You can't tear down, or shouldn't want to tear down, somebody that don't deserve it. You feel what I'm saying? I don't see or hear anything yet that tells me that Carl and his company was trying to get over. But I don't know the whole story. From what I'm seeing, from what I'm hearing, I don't see that yet. So shouts out to Megan for dropping Sugar. I love that single off it. It gives me that Houston vibe. You know, she riding the shit out of that track. Video she just dropped is utterly amazing. We all know she's a beautiful girl that twerk with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? But there's 2 parties involved, man. Hopefully a conversation can be had where somebody ain't looking stupid if they don't deserve it.